So this is Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood is a draw bias player, and just want to spend a bit of time discussing what it is that Tommy Fleetwood does quite well in order to be a high quality draw bias player. So from a down the line perspective, a couple of things that we like to see any player for that matter fit into is we'd like to see a heel line dissecting the middle of the pelvis quite nicely, along with this line here being the armpits, knees, balls of feet, all tying into one straight line. This shows a player which has a nice balanced setup to begin. Now, we know Tommy Fleetwood has a slightly C-shaped spine visually towards the top there, but nothing that inhibits his ability to turn too gravely in his particular case. On the takeaway, we see the golf club go back in one, quite what people describe as a nice one-piece takeaway. Hands going for the golf club quite nicely. Club face matching the spine quite nicely from there as well. From here to the top, Fleetwood takes it back in what would be described as quite a steep manoeuvre to the top. But by him taking it back in quite a steep way, we're able to see a reaction of the opposite man on the way down, i.e. the golf club laying down, showing out quite nicely. So we'll see that happen by the right shoulder, the trail shoulder, working quite externally in transition, i.e. the right elbow is essentially working in towards the rib cage as the downswing begins. From there, we'll see the hands work quite vertically down in its initial phase. So with that externally rotating shoulder, hands working down its initial transition, and we really look to see the lower body open up quite nicely at the same time as well. This essentially would give Fleetwood free rein coming into the hitting area to really want to open up the hips as high as he likes without any fear of losing posture, losing the club in any kind of way, and that really helps him to hit slight from the inside and really cover the golf ball in a nice, powerful way from there as well. From a face-on perspective, if we draw a couple of lines just here, what we see with Fleetwood is his ability to pivot and rotate in line with what we'd see a lot of draw bias players do. Essentially, rotating the pelvis quite well within that box whilst creating a little bit of a gap with where the trail hip started life and where it finishes at the top of the swing, whilst not doing that in a sliding manner as the lead hip has stayed within that box quite nicely. Essentially, his ability to pivot off that lead side gives him the ability or the encouragement to look to hit a little bit more from the inside, again tying in line with what a draw bias players would do, combined with a couple of points which I'm going to draw on him here. So a point on the pelvis, a point on the head. Now coming on the way, working on the way down, we'll really see the pelvis look to unwind and work towards the target here, essentially giving him the ability to look to cover the golf ball quite well. But as we can see, the head has not really moved too gravely off its starting point. A little bit down, but nothing left to right for sure. So what we essentially create here is a nice amount of side bend in the spine, whilst the pelvis is still shifted towards target. So this allows Fleetwood to still hit from the inside with that right side bend, in line with what many draw bias players would do, but we still are able to compress the ball in a functional manner as well.